Hello and welcome to the Building PA podcast. I am co-host John O'Brien from the Keystone Contractors Association, coming to you from central Pennsylvania. Joined as always by fellow co-host Chris Martin. Chris, how are we doing today, Chris?
Hey, John. How are you? I'm
Good,
glad
doing all right. Doing good.
Good. Staying warm?
I'm trying, but yeah, it's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
Got
good.
the slippers on,
That's
you know.
good. Well, yeah, it's a great comfort, right? That's awesome. Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode. My name is Chris Martin, as John mentioned, and I am very happy to be the co-host with John on the Building PA podcast. And I am the president of Atlas Marketing, and we tell stories for companies that build things. And we like to work in construction, as you know. So,
Yes.
John, I think you know what I'm going to ask, and I'm going to kind of tee it up. What kind of stories are we telling today?
Today, we're talking recruitment, we're talking training, we're talking everything construction field work here. We're talking the brains behind it. We
Excellent.
have at our fingertips, we're a phone call away from calling the great masterminds of the EAS carpenters. And today, we're
Watch
excited to
out.
be joined by Rob Smith. Rob is now, as of a week ago, yay, Rob. Rob is now Executive Training Director for the EAS Carpenters Technical College. So welcome to the show, Rob.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here today.
You bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we
Thank
jump
you.
in and get all crazy and start talking about the direction you're going in, can we just kind of talk about the footprint of EAS and who is EAS and just kind of explain that? We explain it all the time, but I love beating this drum. I love hearing about it. So.
Absolutely. So the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters is made up of approximately 45,000 members, hailing from states from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, West Virginia. So it's a rather large footprint, 6 states, and we have approximately 4,000 apprentices in that territory as well.
Nice. And as I said earlier, you have a new title, and I also see technical college after carpenters. So can we explain that as well?
Some exciting things we've been working on. Yeah, thanks, John. It's the Legacy Carpenters Joint Apprentice Committee a few years back started the process of going to a formal accreditation process. So looking to confer degrees or at least college credits. In the past, we had different relationships with community colleges, stuff like that, and each community college was different. And so we decided, you know what? We still have those relationships with our community college friends and partners, obviously. But we said, you know what, let's we want to improve things. We want to try to make things better. So we achieved the accreditation through the Council of Occupational Education, and we are now moving forward, to see that through. So we merged recently with the Philadelphia JAC, and the Northeast Carpenters Apprentice Training Fund have merged as of the first of the year to form the Eastern Atlantic States Carpenters Technical College, which is excellent. So we are in the throes right now of final accreditation, adding those New Jersey campuses. That'll be 7 campuses total under the technical college umbrella. So if you think of a Penn State or Rutgers, that'll add 7 campuses, to that umbrella. And
So this means that the carpenters.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that. So this means the carpenters are going to enter the NCAA and have compete at the whether it's the Big East or the ACC or even the big the Big Ten. I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
You have that
we'll
campus,
see. We
right?
could have a hockey team on the horizon, like a Winter
Nice.
Classic between New Jersey and Philadelphia. We'll
Nice.
see. We don't know.
Let's keep it serious. Let's keep it serious now. Can I call you Dean? Can I call you Dean now? Dean of the college.
No.
Oh, that's good stuff here.
Well, what's interesting. I mean, I've been out to Las Vegas a few times with clients, and had the chance to go out and see and visit the Carpenters facility in Las Vegas. Very impressive. Very impressive for on a national level. Is that kind of what you're working to replicate on a more of a regional level, or haven't you even gotten that far yet?
Well, to some aspects, yes, some aspects, no, Chris. What we're looking at is we want to be able to. The International Training Center is a fabulous place, and I just got back. I was out there last
Hmm.
week. Fabulous place to go, and as a former instructor, all of our instructors from across the United States and Canada go out there for their train to trainer certification. So there's a Penn
Yeah.
State program that really takes you from the field to help make you an occupational instructor, an occupational educator, right? So all of our instructors go through that training out of Las Vegas. It also could be subject matter for concrete formwork, doors and hardware, flooring, part of the millwright trade with Siemens turbine training. There's a lot of different components that we go out there, and all the instructors, again, from the United States and Canada, go out there and receive their train to trainer certificates. Then they come back
Yeah.
to their local training centers, which is where we're at with the technical college, and those instructors are now able to teach those classes to our rank and file members. And it's the same, continuity throughout the U.S. and Canada, throughout the International Training
Right.
Fund. So on the local side, we're doing a lot of those classes here, but this technical college aspect is the first in the United Brotherhood of Carpenters in the United States anyway. I believe there's a technical college in Toronto for the carpenters as well. So along the same umbrella, but
Wow.
along the same footprint. So we're excited to be the Philly, Jersey area to be the first, and looking to expand it as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I
exciting.
know. My favorite part of the Vegas training center, it was the underwater welding. That was just amazing. That section of the facility. I mean, it's just an incredible area, and everything's right there. So, but I know that's not what we're talking about. I apologize. I got us off
Well, no,
topic.
it's
I
fine. I mean,
apologize,
we'd
bro.
love to have you. We'd love to have you come down to our training center in Philadelphia. We have the same similar dive tank as what they have in Las Vegas, and we also just opened a dive school at one of our campuses for underwater welding and all the different training that's done for the infrastructure work in Hamilton, New Jersey. So if you guys wanted to broadcast live from that facility, I'd love to do it there someday.
Field trip.
Road
Woo!
trip.
There you go. All right, good. All right, it's done.
Road trip.
We'll pencil you in.
There you go, guys.
Sounds good.
Done.
Yeah, but as Chris mentioned, we could talk all day about the technical college, and we'll have to have you back periodically to get updates on that. But today the focus is more on all the great effort you guys are doing in the area of minority recruiting, and you got the great CART program started in Philadelphia, and I believe it's in Pittsburgh now too, and hopefully spreading across the state here. But if you could just kind of explain CARP, like what is it and why should we care about it?
So, CARP is the Carpenter's Apprentice Ready program. It is a Pennsylvania state certified pre-apprentice program. I'm proud to say that's where it's grown. A few years back, I was a grant coordinator and instructor in Philadelphia. Kind of found the department. It was a workforce development grant through the state of Pennsylvania. Looking to do this, and as we're reading through it, I'm like, what, this is kind of a great direction, opening doors to people that may not have been exposed to the trades in the past, and creating that opportunity and that pathway, and that's what CARP's designed to do. We're looking for people that come from different diverse backgrounds and are looking for that opportunity in the construction trades. We give them an 8-week, 8 Saturdays. They come to class. I was one of the first instructors to teach this in Philadelphia at the GBCA's office. We did it in the basement down there with their workforce development personnel. So it was kind of a partnership with just like everything the union does that's very successful. It all starts with a partnership with your contractor base and your membership and your local union. So we had the contractors were bought in. The training fund was definitely bought in on this, and we started opening the doors and putting this out there to different community groups. people that were on, social programs and were looking for a new career path, introducing that career path to them.
Rob, with that, what are some challenges that you guys are seeing, you men and women, I should say, not you guys, but the carpenters are seeing, not only, promoting the CARP program, but other challenges with expanding opportunities?
So, it's getting the common messaging out there. When you talk about expanding those opportunities, it's always, good in the city areas, in the large cities. Like we've expanded to, we started out in Philadelphia. We now have programs underway in New Jersey, in Edison, and in Hamilton at those training facilities. We have a program in Pittsburgh. We have a program in the DC market. But getting to those more rural areas are some of the challenges that we're starting to find out. However, we are starting to make inroads there as well. Again, and talking with John's group, in the Harrisburg area, and what we can do, to have that partnership with the contractors, to get the CARP programs going in those more rural areas.
So in Philadelphia, I'm going to expand on that point a little bit here. So in Philadelphia, you have a nice partnership with GBCA, and they kind of got CARP up and running. And then in Pittsburgh, EAS and the master builders are working great, and I think they're in year 2 now, maybe, for the CARP program, or maybe
Yes,
still
they
the
are.
first year 2. Okay.
Year 2.
So
Yep.
so what else can we do? We being the KCA, what can we do to improve and expedite the process across the state?
Absolutely. Any kind of promotion. I know GBCA really, was out in the front promoting this to their membership, asking for their members to, take more apprentices, and to support that, giving these students that successfully complete the program. So it's an 8 Saturday program, and we make sure they're there. It's 7:30 when the program starts, and they're there to 3:30, 4 o'clock to the end of the day. So they're putting a full 8 hours in, just like they would on a job site. And we want to make sure that at the end, we don't do the hiring. Our contractors do the hiring, and to have that partnership and we actually invite the contractors to come be a part of the event as well, to come be a part and speak with these students while they're in the training program on Saturdays. That way, the students get firsthand knowledge from the employers, what they're looking for, what type of employees they're looking for, and how what a future looks like as a tradesperson in the construction industry.
So as far as like the diversity and inclusion component of this, how are the carpenters kind of attacking that, and what's the approach?
So, it's always training, right? So, we just, launched a module throughout the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council. I've worked with CCT and Cindy Williams, and it was CCT and Cindy Williams, and been discussing some things, and with the council leadership as well. We put together a introduction to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it's educating your members and your workforce first. So it's a 1-hour module. It's done through the International's LMS platform, and that goes out to all of the members on a job site that can go out and participate in doing it on their phone, at their home, at their own time, and to get that training as well. So we also have CCT has it on a platform for on their webpage, Construction Contractor Trust. They also have it on their webpage for things as far as their LMS system as well, so they can go through that as well.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a couple phone calls popping up. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. People are calling from the technical college, it's a
yeah, they're calling to apply. What do you want? What do we tell you? The phone's
Yeah,
ringing off the hook.
yeah.
The
No,
life
you
of
mentioned-
the apprenticeship coordinator, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned some good resources out there from EAS and CCT and all the good to talk about diversity and just to prep people and get them ready for this course. But can you maybe touch on like the benefits of a diverse workforce and what are you seeing in the field? And
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
having that diverse workforce, it allows us to, first of all, anytime you have a diverse workforce, it allows you to get more than one perspective and a perspective you may be missing, right? If you have everybody that's from the same upbringing and background, you're not getting that, diverse opinion. So, and having that diverse opinion leads to a lot of success. So that's something that's very important to us as well. But yeah, we see, as the infrastructure bill and some of these projects come out, there's absolutely a demand for high paying careers and for good family sustaining wage jobs, and to spread that opportunity out to as many people as we can, and throw that big just throw that big network out there to as many people that are interested, to as many people that are looking for those good paying jobs. It just makes total sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. So 8 weeks, 8 Saturdays.
Yep.
And then what's the next step after that? After they go through the training there?
Then they would after if they successfully complete, do everything that's there, everything that's there, then they come take our intake process, which consists of an interview, which could have a local union rep, or a contract and or a contractor participating in the interview for the individual. They go through the interview, and all through CARP, they're kind of being, prepped for that interview, so they're successful. That's something else that we're doing with those soft skills and what's required. They do not only do an introduction to the trade on those Saturdays, but they're also prepping in the soft skills to be successful in the construction trade industry and the union trade industry. So they would go through the interview and then complete there's a math assessment, and then there's also a hands-on component as well. So all three of those things give us a good snapshot of the candidate. And they would get accepted, if they were to get accepted and recommended to the apprenticeship program. And then the next thing we're looking for is that contractor piece, right? We want that contractor to be able to employ them. And that's where, KCA, John, and the contractors come into play.
Nice.
Well, hey Rob, can I ask you this?
Sure.
I'm curious. You mentioned soft skills. I'm outside of the podcast here. I'm actually teaching a class on soft skills here in Pittsburgh at Duquesne University, and
Mhm.
and I'm curious that when you mentioned the soft skills, like how is that being received by the apprentices and people coming through the CAR program? Like, do they see that as a value, or are they just like, oh God, I got to just deal with this and get it over with?
Well, I'll tell you, in our world, if you don't show up on time,
Yeah.
if you don't have you want to stick with something when it's tough, in the construction industry, it's not easy. It's not an easy job, and we try to put that out there right away. We say, you need to be there on time. You need to be respectful. You need to be responsible, and construction work is very, very demanding. So if we can give any additional tools in the toolbox for them to be successful, for a new apprentice coming in, or somebody that's interested in our trade to be successful, to give that insight up front, and tell them what they're in for. You're going to be out in the heat, 95 degrees, 100 degrees, and you're going to be working, or you're going to be freezing your rear end off out 100 feet in the air. So I mean, and that type of that's the world we're in, and you're going to be around a lot of noise and a lot of your environment changes on a daily basis. One minute there was a guardrail there, and nothing there, or there was a guardrail there one day, and that guardrail is now gone because now the leading edge of the floor has moved because a new slab has been poured. So I mean, it's just constantly changing environments, and and having those conversations early on in those pre-apprentice classes really help them get a full, well-rounded knowledge of what's expected of them. I think that's where it's most successful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Philadelphia, 4 years, I believe. Pittsburgh, 2 years. I am sure there are tons of great people in the field now because of this program. And as you cross paths with them, as they come back for more training, refresher training, feel free to say, hey, do any of you want to come on a podcast and talk about
Absolutely.
the program?
Yeah.
Because
We just had our
your
first
input's
graduates.
awesome.
We just had our first graduates, John. Now that you're
Awesome.
saying that, Yeah, there was two gentlemen through our first pilot class that we ran, just graduated a year or so back at the Philadelphia graduation. So they're full-fledged journey persons in the Philadelphia market. And again, if you work 2,000 hours a year, you can make $100,000 a year. So I mean, and that's, they went from the one student when I mentioned that we started the pilot program called me on a Friday, and I was cleaning out my garage, and he calls me up. He says, "Mr. Smith, yeah, I don't know I don't know how he got my cell phone number, and hey, good for him. He's a persistent kid, and that's what we're looking for." He said, "Mr. Smith, I need to know. I know you guys know if I pass the apprentice test to get in to the Philadelphia program, but I need to know because it's going to change my life." And this was on a Friday afternoon, and that's the kind of impact these type of programs make. He said, "It's going to change my life." And I says, "Yeah, you passed." I said, "Congratulations." And he goes, "I won't let you down. I won't let you down." He's been with the same employer for 5 years now.
Wow.
5 or 6 years now. He's been with the same employer, and proud to say that he was one of the first ones that came through this program. So it's really it's those kind of, that's what we're looking to do, and that's what these programs do.
Mhm.
Rob, I
Yeah.
have to ask, how did that make you feel when you got that phone call?
How did it make you feel when I told that story?
It felt
Yeah,
good.
well,
It felt
good
right.
answer.
It's great.
Good
It's
answer.
it's that's the most rewarding part of these jobs. I'm telling you, is you really. I mean, I've been blessed and fortunate that I have a 30-year career in the carpenters union, right? So I didn't know how it was going to work out when I started. Looking back on my career now, I can't imagine that I started as a first-year apprentice and now I'm executive director of a training fund. And I went to school and went to college, and went to college when it really meant something to me. 15 years of working out in the field and 10 years of teaching, and now 5 years in administration. You run the whole gamut, and that's what this kind of opportunity can do for you. I just started out working, and you learn the ropes, and you know your trade, your industry. So it's really cool. It makes you feel great, especially when you look back.
Yeah. I can't wait until it goes full circle and someone that goes through CARP is sitting in your seat and they're the training director, and that's
Just temporary placeholder, man, because we're all
there
going to
it is.
retire someday. I hope so. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. So
What's
I
that?
would tell you though that we are excited for this program to come to KCA territory. We had an event right before Christmas, the most recent Christmas, and we talked about different recruitment strategies. And we had one of your council reps come and talk about the CARP program, and there was a lot of questions about it and a lot of interest in the program. And hey, we're ready. We're ready to be continue this great partnership that we have and help with this program. So.
No, that's great, John. If I can help in any way with promotion, or myself, Rich Pagani, or any of the local training directors in the area there can help have that conversation with your contractors, please let us know.
Okay, sounds good. And we're going to take you up on the offer for the tour, so So
Yes.
That's great. Yeah, that would be cool. And
Yeah.
we're we're speaking of the apprentices and the whole territory of the EAS. We're just launching a 2023 showcase, construction showcase competition that I'm sure you're seeing some emails popping
Yep.
up, John, in your inbox. So that's going to have 50 apprentices from the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters region that I described earlier in the podcast. And those students, those fourth-year apprentices, are graduating to become journey persons. They're going to be competing in Atlantic City for the top apprentice in their trade group. So it's really exciting, and we think it's a great way to showcase our skills that our apprentices have learned along the way through a bona fide registered apprenticeship program.
That's cool. Now, does that
That's
replace the open house building contest, or is that in partnership with it? Or
It's going to be, it is going to, for this year, it's going to replace a little bit, but it's held in Pittsburgh. They are still going to have an open house and do things. And Philadelphia is going to have an open house as well. I think they're going to try to do some community engagement events and stuff like that, or surrounding it. So, some efforts just target it in a little different fashion. That's all.
okay, I'll be there. I just want to know what I'm getting myself into here. I can't wait.
You got it. You got it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, I definitely, I know that John and I will definitely take you up on that offer to come out and tour, and we've done that
Anytime,
before,
John.
and we'll do it again. But I want to say thank you for joining us today. It's been a great conversation, and I'm certain that we're going to be contacting you and having more conversations around that. So, feel free to let us know how we can help you, just like you just offered that up. And I want to thank you again for joining us today, and can't wait for the next conversation.
Yeah, Chris and John, this was awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me today as well.
You bet. Great seeing you and hearing you. So good stuff.